Hey guys, Anna here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build. Today we're in the world of Inner Screen and we are in the Spruceberry Grove neighborhood. We don't stay here, so we end up in Everdew. This house started one way and ended another. It's probably the best way that I can put it. A lot of my builds are a work in progress, and I think that really does highlight the Sims 4 building process anyway. So yeah, this particular build is a 2x1 bedroom home that I initially wanted to build a starter home. You can see I've got my sim there. For the life of me, I've forgotten my own sim's name. So I love that for me. But this is the particular build that I played in when the pack first released. So when Enchanted by Nature came out, I built 3 homes. One of them you saw back when the pack released. It was that beautiful kind of purpley green towered kind of cottage that was built in Everdew. And then I built this particular build, and this was meant to be a starter home for, I guess, not really a let's play because I didn't film the let's play, but this was my personal build for the game for me to play in. And I wanted this build to have everything. I wanted it to be able to have a sim that was going to do gardening and live off the land and really explore the apothecary skill. And but I still wanted it to be accessible for her to then become a fairy and go down that avenue of the game. In the end, I decided that the build needed to be moved to Everdew. You will see why very shortly. The main aspects of this build, so I didn't really have a reference pick. This build came together kind of on the fly. I was just playing around with some rectangles and some roofing. I really love the shape. So this door really gives it away. So this particular door, I love the butterflies. I hadn't used the wooden kind of set of windows and doors yet. I didn't use it in my first build. This was the second build I did. And I decided to use it in this particular build. That paired with this pink roof tiling kind of made this build really fairy-like to me. Very girly, very fairy-like. And I honestly feel there is a townie in this particular world called Nadia, and I feel I have built Nadia's house. It did not start out this way. It was not my intention, but this is what we ended up with, and I really love it. And the second I kind of, went with the kind of pale wood birch tone paired with that really like bubblegum pink wallpaper, I was like, this just needs to be an Everdew. It doesn't kind of fit this world. So unfortunately, we do end up moving this build to Everdew. So, and spoiler alert, Thursday's build is my 3rd build with the pack, and that is also in Everdew. That is on that gorgeous lot that's in the tree. And I did mention in my first build that was a lot that I really, really wanted to build on. So we do that. All right, so the main points of this build. So I wanted to have this kind of greenhouse that was tacked on to the main part of the house. And I thought that this would be a really good opportunity to use the new glass wallpaper that we got with the Enchanted by Nature expansion pack. So I've used that in here in a beautiful purpley tone. That is where you'll have the apothecary table and you'll have a lot of planter plots. And I think I put in a chair in there, and it's just like a really nice seating area. You walk in, you have these platforms. I had to use platforms because I didn't want to raise up the whole house. I only wanted to have a certain part raised. And you walk in, you'll have your kitchen and your dining. And then off to the left-hand side, you have a bump out, which is your living room. It's a very small living room, but when playing in this particular house, I didn't use it. So that's the other thing. It was very interesting to see like what assets you actually use and in what part of the gameplay. So when you're living off the land, you really don't need a house at all. You don't need a house at all. You really do just need that one lot that has a giant pond on it, and you could play through the entire natural living skill, nature nomad aspiration from that lot if you wanted to. But yeah, when you then become a fairy, you need even less. You pretty much just need a fairy house. A fairy house is so important. We do include one in this particular build, and in Thursdays we have a fairy house, obviously. And yeah. All right, so a little bit more on this particular build. So we are now just outside, starting on the landscaping. Again, I knew I wanted a pond. I knew I wanted a pond for the living off the land. I made it a bit swampy because in this area it suited that. I then went with a path. So I got with the terrain paint. I love this terrain paint. It's a base game one. It's pebbled and I use it quite a lot. It fit really well in this particular world. I don't know if I keep it when I move to Everdew. I can't remember, maybe. So I wanted to map that out, and I knew I wanted to use the kind of pagoda item that we got with Enchanted by Nature. I'd end up putting in like those stone petaled seating benches, so we put those in, and then I just go into the debug menu and I just go to ham. I just put in a lot of trees and shrubs and really clutter up the space. I love these little rock details by the pond, and we put in some like plants that kind of fit the pond area, and we go in with some debug fencing, and it just becomes a really nestled build, and it's very beautiful. I'm really happy with the landscaping on this particular build. I said in my first build for this particular pack that landscaping and roofing are the two aspects of a build that I struggle with, and I think that this particular pack really encouraged me to visit those areas of my building and just kind of tackle them head on. And I'm really happy with this particular build and Thursdays. Now, this particular build, I don't have a lot of like ivy or wisteria on the exterior of the build. I kept it very minimal. I used a lot of that in the first build that I ever did with this pack, and I tell you, it was a struggle putting plants on roofs and all sorts. I just struggled. So I do a little bit of that in Thursdays. Oh, I'm so excited for you to see Thursdays. Thursday is my favorite. You can do, if you can't already tell, that's my favorite build of the three that I've done. But yeah. All right, we have moved to Everdew. You can tell instantly right away the lighting is very harsh on this particular lot. I do apologize for that, but anyway, we will make do. So the landscaping is pretty much done. I've gone in and added all sorts of things, mapped out the fencing. I think I still have to put in the gardening stuff, but we will in the end. All right, so the floor plan is being finalized here. So that we are just going to, so we've sectioned off where that upper landing is, and you can see that there will be a bathroom and a infant's room. I think we still use the wallpaper. We do end up changing the swatch in the infant's room. The one that's in the master bedroom ends up being in the infant's room, and we change the master bedroom to be more of like to use more of the reds, the red tones. It ends up being really lovely. Okay, I've kind of used the birch kind of mid-tone wallpaper in the kitchen as like a backsplash, and I've also used it in the bathroom. I've gone in with that beautiful wooden floor texture throughout the entire house, and this section I'm just trying to work out how I can put doors into these two particular rooms, because it was very tight, because I didn't want this build to be a 1x1. I really wanted there to be 2 bedrooms at least, because in my gameplay, it always happens. I play the pack, and then I always end up getting married and having a baby. It's just how I play The Sims 4. So I need at least a nursery in a build. Okay, this is my kitchen. So you walk in, you have your kitchen, and you have a small dining table. And I've really used a lot of those raspberry pink tones. And it just made decorating so much easier, because that matches with this, which matches with this. I love this fairy light. So we've used the fairy light above the fridge, and I think we use it outside on the porch as well, potentially. I do add a little bit of greenery inside. Not too much, just mainly entering into the greenhouse. I thought that that was a nice touch. I was dealing with a lot of like weird shadow from sizing up and down the greenery, just because it's like it's a small wall height, so I want to try to make it match. There are these candles that are in the debug menu for this Enchanted by Nature, and I really love them because we didn't get a lot of clutter other than plants that can really be used as centerpieces. And I thought having a candle on the dining table was quite a different a change. I don't usually do it, but I really enjoyed it. Anyway, so we've kind of glossed over the living room. So you have that beautiful couch and my favorite fireplace. I prefer this one to the other one. And we do end up adding in windows. The house looks a bit bare at the moment because there's no windows. We go back and add them very shortly, and those windows match that beautiful door. That kind of the butterfly print is gorgeous. So we've gone in there. The hallway leading into the upstairs where the stairs are just has a desk, a nature press, and it has a bookcase. You then go upstairs. I keep that landing very plain. Doesn't have very much at all. And this is the part where I'm just putting on my windows, and I'm very mindful of window placement because of how the roof is done. I don't want to put a window in the middle of a roof if it doesn't make sense. I kind of want the window placement to make sense. So I did struggle with that. We are now going back through and adding in pretty much the final touches of the interior. We're going and we're doing all the curtains, all of the clutter pieces, making sure we've got enough light. I do end up having a very simple bathroom. We still have to decorate the infant's room, which basically, yeah. So when I was playing in this particular house, there were several rooms I didn't even use, but it really depended on the stage I was at with my gameplay. When I was doing a lot of the natural living skill and I was living off the land, I didn't use any of this stuff. This beautiful infant's room that we're doing didn't even get used. I really loved the lighter swatch of the tree bookcase, and that's when I leaned into that lighter color scheme. So I ended up stealing the wallpaper from the master bedroom and then changing the master bedroom's wallpaper. I love these little gnomes. These came in handy through gameplay, so I'm really excited that I added those back. I've gone and used like a clothing rack in the master bedroom because I didn't have a lot of space to put in a dresser, because the dresser is quite bulky that comes with this pack, and that room was quite narrow. And I also don't like the actual bed placement, like the direction, like you walk in and the bed's just there. I'm funny. I always factor in things like feng shui and stuff when I build, even in The Sims 4, even though it's like a fictional world, I still like want a room to look inviting and like approachable, and like having the bed there really doesn't, but I really struggled. Like it could not go anywhere else because of just really the size of it and how it fit in that kind of narrow space. All right, we put all of the gardening stuff. There's a ton of gardening stuff on this particular lot. I don't know if I've said this, but if I haven't, this particular build is on the gallery. My gallery ID is Antoinette.44. It is in the description note below if needed. This build is only Enchanted by Nature and base game. Mostly Enchanted by Nature. So if you would like to play in this house, as I did, you absolutely can. The build is up on the gallery. Same with the first build that I did, which I will tag down below. And for Thursdays, when you see Thursdays, I'm so excited for you to see Thursdays. It's my favorite. It's my favorite build that I did with this particular pack. And yeah, let me know what you would like to see. Do you want to see more Enchanted by Nature builds? All right, we are live in game and we are going through the tour. So you walk in and you have this beautiful space that has your kitchen and your dining. off to the right hand side, you have your greenhouse, and you have your apothecary table, and you have all your planter plots. Down through to the left, you have that beautiful living room. Love the blue and the pinks. Lots of blue and pink colors in here. You've got that hallway that has a desk and a bookcase and the nature press. Upstairs landing, just a few of those nature press framed plants. I think they're really beautiful. The master bedroom, we changed the color scheme in here. I do like the red, the deeper color. Doesn't really pair with the rest of the house, but I think it's okay. I love this infant's room. I should have changed that rug. I don't know why I didn't. And a very simple bathroom. Not my best work, but I think it's okay. And that is the build today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like, a comment, and consider subscribing. It helps me out. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.